All right, Shalom. This is the I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General Yohanna. The I.S.U.P.K. This is the only school where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians will learn their real identity. Out in the world, what are we taught? With Jamaican, West Indian, African, American, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Dominican. But in the Bible, we are the chosen people of God. We are the people that God made walk through the Red Sea. The people that heard the voice of God and live, man. That is our history. And in today's history class, we're going to show you without a shadow of a doubt that when we say that the real Jews are black, that no one should not laugh. It's not a laughable issue. What happens nowadays is when you dare say that the Israelites are black, what happens? People laugh at you. Why? Because people think of the Jewish race of people. When we're going to go into history, in the UPK, the Monday class is the history class. So we're going to go into some history to show you that without a shadow of a doubt that the Jews have always been black, and they're black until this very day, man. Many of us, will be listening to the news on the internet, how the presenter Nick Cannon, yeah, he basically lost his job on a podcast years ago. Matter of fact, not even years ago, a short while back, saying that the original Jews were black, and the Jewish community ridiculed him. When for the company Viacom that he works for, they sacked him, and he's apologized and he's trying to do everything to get his job back. And the Jewish community, they was ridiculing him, saying that basically, where did he get this information from? This is low quality information. And let me tell you something. What we teach at the I.S.U.P.K. is not low quality information, man. What you learn here, the history, the verses in the Bible, the real understanding, ain't nothing low quality about any of this. That man, I forgot his name, that had the nerve to call what we teach at the I.S.U.P.K. low quality information. The truth is, the information he has, that's of low quality. Him believing that he is the real Jew, that information that he has, that is the information of low quality right there, man. Yeah, comment. So yeah, man. So we're gonna get into that. But before we do, just a few announcements. In the UK, we have a school. The address is 394 Lodge Road, postcode B18 5PW. I'll say it one more time. The address for the school in the UK is 394 Lodge Road, postcode B18 5PW. And this class is in Birmingham. So if you're in the region of Birmingham or the West Midlands, what's some West Midlands regions? You got the Birmingham, Wolverhampton, Walsall, Dudley. Do come through, man. And even if you're in the East Midlands, if you can make it here and learn directly, then why not, man? And then for those of you that can't, you can also watch online on the YouTube I.S.U.P.K. United Kingdom. On the Facebook, on the Facebook page, you can also watch live I.S.U.P.K. United Kingdom. So in this school, we teach classes 3 times a week in the week, and we have a Saturday class as well. So Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, We have classes going on. So you have the Monday class, which is today. That is the history class. Then you got the Wednesday law class. Then you got the Thursday scripture breakdown class, all at the same time, 6:30 till 9. So, do come through, man. If you're in the Birmingham area, you know what I mean? And you can watch them online at the same time. So they'll be streamed online also as well. So you don't want to miss that. And also you can type your questions in online. So you know what I mean. If you have anything, do feel free to ask. Whether it's a question in the Bible, in history, or just if you need some counseling. And the contact number for the school, that'll be on the YouTube channel and on the Facebook page as well. We're on Instagram, I.S.U.P.K UK, and on Twitter, I.S.U.P.K UK. So we're everywhere. You know what I mean? So for those of you that haven't watched it, the I.S.U.P.K, we was doing a camp on the Birmingham High Street. For those of you that don't know, a camp is when we speak on the streets. And, we came across a Jewish man. He was saying that, what we're teaching is not the truth. It's nonsense. And here's the thing. He doesn't have the knowledge. He doesn't have the wisdom. Lord allow next week, I'll get into a class on why the so-called Jewish man thinks he is the real Jew. So that's the class that, next week after this class, if everything goes well and everything, then we would definitely get into that also as well. So yeah, man. So for those of you that haven't seen the video on YouTube, I.S.U.P.K United Kingdom, you can watch it. And Officer Karafia breaks him down, man. Officer Karafia shows him that he's not the real Jew, and he ends up walking off, man. Can't take the facts. So we're going to get into that from the history side, because many people think in the UPK, all you got is the Bible. You don't have history. All you do is cling on to verses in the Bible. And yes, we do. We believe in the Bible. Do we believe the Bible is the word of God? Yes. Do we believe everything in the Bible is a fact? Yes. And you know what I mean? And yeah, but do we have history? Do we have, historians that have references and also them things as well? Of course we do, man. And what's funny is so many times people think, we're not ready. We can't handle it. You know what I mean? We don't know history. And you're sadly mistaken, man. In the I.S.U.P.K, we got history. Why do you think we have a Monday history class if we didn't have no history? So we do have history. The problem is people assume we don't have the history. And brother, if you can at the Bible, give me Psalms 85 and 11. Shalom, Tazapwan, Yahweh, Shemi, Hawashai, Barakatha. I was going to turn the speaker. Psalms 85 and 11.
Slaki Adon, you want me to get it?
Stop it. 1 second. Trying to see if you can hear this as well. Bear 1 second. How is it now?
Can I'm good at the one.
Like 1 second, trying to get this sound for you.
I can hear you clearly.
No. All right. How is it now?
Shalom, shalom. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, most time correct. So I can hear you as well. Right. I asked you most time correct. All right then. So young man, give me Psalms 85 and 11. And there you go, man. The truth, it shall spring forth out of the earth, man. Now, what does that verse mean, man? That with the facts, it comes out of the earth. And what is that? Archaeology, man. What's that? Records, man. The truth comes out of the earth. And it's in the Bible. That you mean, like, with the earth, it lets you know what happens, man. It lets you know who we are as a race of black people, man. You know what I mean? Those of West Indian descent, American descent, Native Indian, Hispanic, man.
Right.
The earth shows us who we are, and we are the real Israelites.
That's right.
Regardless of a Jewish man thinking what we teach is nonsense, the earth shows the truth all the time, man. Regardless of opinions, regardless of beliefs, regardless of whatever anyone wants to say, the earth speaks for itself, man. Archaeology, history, artifacts, records, archives, all these things speak for itself. Read on.
And righteousness shall look down from heaven.
And righteousness shall look down from heaven, meaning with them, the facts, they're going to be shown, man. It's going to be obvious that you mean where the righteous way is, man.
Right.
And we are the real Jews. Never let no one make you feel ashamed as you're not the real Jew. Like, you know, I don't want to say that, man. Everyone's going to laugh at me. Listen, you know what I mean? All right. The first thing it's in the Bible, the word of God, first and foremost. But is it historical as well? Yes, it is, man. Is it historical of the Jews being black? Yes, it is, man. Is it historical that the Jews went to West Africa and were rounded up and sold to the West Indies, sold in America, and like basically damn near all over the earth? Yes. So we don't need to be ashamed, man. And what hurts is that Nick Cannon, he embarrassed himself. First, you say, you know, the original Jews are black. Then you're saying it was a mistake, meaning you don't know what you're talking about. That's embarrassing. You're better off just rolling with the punches, man. Going, well, yeah, according to my research, the ancient Jews were black. You know what I mean? But instead, nah, guys, I'm sorry for what I said. Sorry for what, man? Sorry for history that you read. Sorry for a book that you picked up. You don't have to apologize, man. And you know what's so racist about it too? All over the earth, people can believe what they want to believe, and no one knocks them. People believe in Islam, Christianity, Seventh-day Adventists, and you can't wrong no one. You can't sack nobody for what beliefs to have. But when you say that the chosen people of God were black, you have to get sacked. Do you know what that really means? Really, the real people of God are black. That's why they gotta sack you for it, man. They gotta sack you for it because it's something they don't want black people to know.
Right.
People got so many beliefs, and the one, you know what I mean, you gotta sack a man for that, then that means that one must be true. People follow Islam, Christianity, all kind of religions, and no one argues with them. They're like, well, that's your belief. So someone believing that the real Jews are black, what's the problem? It's a belief like anything else out there. But that's the problem, man. They don't want you to know that. And that's what happened to him, man. When you speak up and show the black man who he really is, then you get threatened with you might lose your job. We don't want to do business with you anymore. And that's the thing right there, man. Give me Revelations 1 and 3.
Revelation 1 verse 3. Blessed is he that reading.
So now the Bible says, blessed is he that readeth, man. Meaning, when you're alert, man, and you're reading, you mean it's a blessing, man. It's blessed to, read and understand things. And the UPK, we read, man.
Right.
No one can't make us feel no type of way when we state that the real Jews are black, because blessed is he that readeth, man. We know what we're talking about. We got the proof, man, and we know how to research history. We know about these sources, where they originate from. We know how history is done, man. We're not idiots in this, man, and that's what people need to understand. But right now, this being the history class, let's get into some history. You know what I mean? It's only the right thing to do, man. So I got quite a few books here. Got Nature Knows No Color Lines by J.A. Rogers. We're gonna get into this book in a bit. Let's put it to the camera so you can see. Nature Knows No Color Lines. J.A. Rogers, a man that lived in the early 1900s. We got From Babylon to Timbuktu. Again, and also these are scholarly books. This ain't just someone that made it and just sells it on Amazon. These are researchers, people that went to university, got degrees, man. You know what I mean? This ain't just any book written by any John Doe. Because anyone can make a book, but there's historians that have been to universities that, what I mean, they know and can research valid information, man. So this one's Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. You know what I mean? You see his face in the opening of the book. It's a black man as well. Then we got this book we're going to use as well, Into Egypt with Ships, written by Elisha J. Israel. Going to get into some of that as well. And look, if you look on the man's back, he's been whipped and the scars are on his back, if you're wondering what that is. Then we're going to get into another book called The Valley of Dry Bones, written by the same man again, Rudolph R. Windsor. But in this book, we're going to get into the color of the Jews. So when people go, Jews ain't black, we're going to get some scholarly information on Jews being black. And, you know what I mean, that it's actually ridiculous to believe that the Jews could not be black.
Right.
You know what I mean? One second. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Baby, 1 second. It's got a waste man in the chat who's going to be gone. And there you go. All right. Yeah. So Valley of Dry Bones. You know what I mean? Rudolph R. Windsor. So in this book, this is going to show that if you believe that the Jews are anything besides black, it's ridiculous. So we're going to use this book for that. And this book here is more exhaustive, but we're not going to make it exhausting, of course. This is her Hebrewisms of West Africa, written by Joseph J. Williams. So we're going to use this book to show you that when Jerusalem fell, many of us were in West Africa and we was rounded up. And many historians that was in West Africa, they met Jews and go, yeah, that the West Africa is flooded with tons of Israelites. So, you know what I mean? This is what we're going to use. And of course, there's many other books out there. Some may have some more, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. But for this history class, this is what we are going to use. You know what I mean? So let's get into it. So we're going to start off in Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84. All right. So if you can, young man, read for me Babylon's Timbuktu, page 84. This highlight part is right here. Yeah, people. Yeah, with the two red. If you want, you can stand more up to the mic if you want.
In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
All right. So now, in this book, he's giving you some history. In 65 BC, the Romans, they captured Jerusalem, and that's history, man. The Roman Empire, they had our land, and what we was under them, we was subjects paying tax and everything that the Romans required of us, and that started in 65 BC. Read on.
In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
So now, over 100 years afterwards, the same Roman Empire, they put an end to the state. And did that happen historically? Yes, man. They basically waited round about the land so that no one could get anything, no one could leave, no one could enter, and the food as well, man. No food. No one couldn't leave to do anything. And of course, when supplies run low, what happened? People start to starve. People start to fight each other, and that's what happened, man. We was eating each other, eating our sandals. It's researchable. It's researchable. History. It's a fact. And then now, once we were fighting each other and we was hungry, exhausted, then they entered in via the gates and they slaughtered us, slaughtered millions of Jews. Read on it.
With great slaughter during the period of the military governors of the Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people.
So now, the book's saying that for the Jews that remain, many outrages and atrocities were committed against them. Really, for you not to give no one the ability to eat, that's outrageous, man. What they done to us was outrageous. Read on.
During the period from against the residue of the people, during the period from Pompey of Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
All right. So now stop right there. So now this historian, he's saying that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. 1 million Jews from what happened in Jerusalem fled into Africa. Now, for those of you that don't know about genealogy in the Bible, now this being a history class, in the Bible, the Jews are described as being black, but they're not African. One thing what we don't understand is dark skin doesn't determine who you are. It's your generation, it's your genealogy, who your forefathers are. That's what determines who you are. Like today, what do people say? Black people. When in biblical times, there was the Canaanites, Philistines, Hamites, Egyptians, Ethiopians, and having dark skin or brown skin, that wasn't a determinator to say who you were. So the Jews, they're black, but what? They fled into Africa from what the Romans was doing to them. Read on.
Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery, the slaves markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
And there you go, man. The slave markets, they were full of black Jewish slaves, man. Meaning what? Those slaves in West Africa that were sent to Jamaica, they were Jews, man, that fled into West Africa. And this historian, he's bringing it out. that the people that were sold from Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, these were black Jew slaves, man, that were sold. Is nothing I'm making up. This is researchable information that the people that were sold in West Africa, according to what he said in the book, they were black Jewish slaves, man.
That's
that was
right.
us. You know what I mean? It wasn't Africans selling Africans. It was Africans selling Israelites that were living on their land. Us being strangers on their land, they rounded us up. We was more vulnerable to be enslaved. Why? Because we are on a land that is not ours, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what happened, man. But hold that book. Someone's gonna think I'm lying about, you know, we was vulnerable. Or you got a nation knows no color lines as well. Most I'm Christ.
Right.
All right. So now
Look
we're
at
gonna
that.
get back to Babylon to Timbuktu. Oh, you got that as well. Okay, Most High in Christ. All right. All right then. From the book into Egypt with ships. I'm gonna need page 45.
God.
All right, page 45. And all right. From the part where it goes, the transatlantic slave trade. I believe it's the lower part.
No, God. Which the Lord thy God has given thee. That's like the middle bit.
Oh, so like all right. Page 45.
God.
All right. I'll tell you what, all right. Start from the part where it says millions of Jews fled into Africa.
Right. I can't see. I'm going to start from and thou shalt eat the fruits of thine own body.
Oh, are you in the book into Egypt with ships? The page for 45.
45.
Yeah, cut.
Yeah, 45, yeah.
All right.
At the top right, it begins with a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of the old.
It started with the historian Josephus describes the horrendous siege. Page for 45. 45? Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's it.
Which page is that? Oh, you might have another edition of the book.
Okay.
Right. No sweat. I'll get the young man to read it. Come here.
Yeah.
All right. So again, this is the book into Egypt with ships. Let's give it that part. The transatlantic slave trade. I've highlighted it.
Transatlantic slave trade that followed millions of Semitic black Jews.
All right. So now it's talking about the transatlantic slave trade, and it says it followed millions of Semitic black Jews. If you notice, it didn't call them Africans.
Right.
Meaning even they know that the people that were sold from West Africa, those were Semitic black Jews, man. Meaning us that, you know, come from a Jamaican background, Trinidadian, West Indian, African American background, you know what I mean, that was sold to the Western Hemisphere. We are not African. We are Semitic Black Jews, man.
That's
Even
right.
this author, Elisha J. Israel, even he knows that, you know what I mean, it wasn't Africans selling Africans. Africans sold Semitic Black Jews. They sold another race of people.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? I know in today's history, they like to say that Africans sold their own, and that is historically wrong, man. We've read in one book that how it was full of Black Jews. Now in this book, Semitic Black Jews. So now already two historians know that the people that were sold from West Africa were in fact not Africans, but Israelites that migrated into West Africa. That is
That's
a
right.
history that they have. Reader.
The black Semites settled in the lands of the black Hamitic nations.
All right. So now in West Africa, we lived amongst the black Hamitic nations, meaning we lived among them. So the Israelites in West Africa, we lived among the Africans, and they rounded us up. They sold us to the European, the British, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Dutch. Reader.
Dr. A.H. Godbey correctly suggests that strangers among the African Israelites would have been vulnerable after enslavement during wars and conflicts.
All right. So now this historian, Dr. Alan H. Godbey, he's saying that because us being in West Africa in their land, we were very honorable to be captured. Why? Because we're on their land. There's obviously more of them than us, man. And so
Right.
whenever there was a conflict, we are at the weaker side of it, man. We are on lands that are not ours. And whenever there was conflicts, whenever there was wars, we was vulnerable. And that's how
Right.
they got us, man. Through wars and conflicts. And of course, on land that isn't yours, you know, to usually win a war on a land that's not yours, it's very difficult because there's more of them than us. We are strangers in Ghana, in Benin, in Nigeria. We are strangers. And when there was conflicts, we was vulnerable, man. We was captured and sold to this Western Hemisphere, man. But what is the point? Africans did not sell Africans, man.
That's right.
Africans sold Israelites. And
Right.
now that's something that your historians of today don't want black people to know, man. And you know what's funny? This information is so strong that they would even make a man lose his job for it, man. They would sack him just for saying the original Hebrews were black, man.
Right.
And even that statement ain't even all the way right, saying the original ones. The Jews are black. They were black then, and they're black now, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Even when he got it wrong, they gotta get rid of him. Because what would that do for us as black people? Make us love each other. Make us know that we have a great history, man. The Bible, that is the most sold book on the face of the earth, is a black book, man. Talking about wise black men, great black men, and a nation of black people that God loves so much, man. And as Israelites, we can't know that, or hence we will stop doing the wrongs that we do, man. We will stop drug dealing. We would, you know what I mean, raise families again. We would do so much, and our enemy just can't have that, man.
Right.
You know, to lock us up makes money. To arrest us makes money, man. And you know what I mean, this information, you know what I mean, it's really strong, man. It's something that is so fundamental onto our lives, and you can't even say it, man. You say it's like, oh no, you can't say that, man. And yes, you can, man. And we have to say, and at the ISUPK, we've been saying it since 1969. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, out of this book, you know what I mean? It lets you know that it was black, like Semitic black Jews that were rounded up. So that's another book there. All right. So now, Tazarpon, if you can, get me Matthew 24:1. Matthew 24:1. So I'm just gonna add on to this. So when we read into Babylon to Timbuktu about Jerusalem being destroyed, in the Bible, there's an account of this with the Messiah, Jesus Christ. He said that this would happen. He said that, this place would be destroyed. So we're going to read it in Matthew 24:1. Read that for me, please.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 1. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the building of the temple.
There, so now, I'll break it down. So now, with Yahushua, he's with, Mark, Matthew, Luke, John, the disciples, and they're showing him the temple. Like, look at this, man. Look how wonderful it is. They're excited, but though he's gonna let his disciples know something. Read on.
And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily, I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another.
And now with Christ, he said, now with Christ, he said, there's not going to be one stone upon another. Now, what does that mean? This place is going to fall, man.
Right.
It's going to be destroyed. So with Christ is letting him know, he's going, look, as wonderful as it looks, his disciples are amazed, like, look at this. And he's like, listen, one stone ain't going to be upon another. Why? Because the Roman army is going to destroy it. And we read it in history, in the book, Babylon to Timbuktu. We just read it. But Christ prophesied that that would happen before it happened. All right. If you can, 1 second. I think it's at verse 15. Well, actually, you can read on from verse 3.
24 verse 3.
Kanye.
From verse 2. There shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
And there, man, I was like, so now it's letting you know that shall not be thrown down, meaning Jerusalem's gonna fall, man. The land of Jerusalem, as they knew it at that time, was gonna fall. One stone would not be upon another. Read on.
And he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and his disciples came unto him privily, saying, tell us, when shall these things be?
So now what happened? His disciples are shocked, like, what? So now, as they sat down, his disciples came to him like, please, man, let us know when these things shall be. Please, like, let us know about this day when Jerusalem's gonna fall, man. The land of, the land of Judea as we know it, when is it gonna fall? Why? Because they were shocked, man. The disciples, they couldn't imagine a time like this. So they're asking him, like, when shall these things be? Read on.
And God, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
So they asked him, when shall these things be? Meaning, when should Jerusalem fall? And then when is going to return? So they asked him 3 things. But for time's sake, let's skip to verse 15 for the class.
And on count verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand.
There's now with Christ, he made his disciples know who is the abomination, the white man.
Right.
He's saying, and so what he's saying is the abomination, which is a white man, the abomination of the desolation, meaning the white man destroys everything. His abomination, and he desolates things. Going, when you see me in land, so when you see Roman occupation high all over your land, spoken by Daniel, man, that is in the book of Daniel as well, man.
Yeah.
So, when you see this high level of occupation, the Roman army, you mean the Romans all over the place, spoken by Daniel. Read on.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
And there you go, man. So, and them which are in Judea flee, man, run. Now in Babylon to Timbuktu, what did it say? Millions of black Jews fled into Africa, meaning they ran, man.
Right.
Why? Because they saw the Romans, they saw the high level of occupation, and you know what I mean? Some went before, and some knew that something bad was gonna happen. Those that stayed died, man.
Right.
Loads of Jews that wanted to fight and believe that they were gonna beat the Romans, they died. But those that could see what was going on, those Jews, those Israelites that understood, fled into Africa, like what we are reading in Matthew 24, man. Read on.
Which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to this Salakia. Return back to take his clothes.
And now with Christ saying, just go, man. Just go. When you see this, don't even take your clothes. Just you know what I mean, run, just go, get on a horse, camel. You know what I mean, do whatever you gotta do, but leave, man. Why? Because Jerusalem is going to be destroyed, man. The land of Judea, as we knew it, was not going to be the same again. And Christ told the disciples, man, and those that were wise and they could perceive what was going on, they fled into Africa, like what we read in the book Babylon to Timbuktu, how the millions of Jews fled into Africa.
That's right.
If I'm making sense, if anyone doesn't understand, you know what I mean, please write in the chat. You know what I mean? Do whatever you have to do. It's like young man, it's Hamida Babylon to Timbuktu. All right, so we're gonna get into Babylon to Timbuktu some more now. So now, the land of Judea is destroyed. The millions of Jews, they've fled into Africa. Now, in this book, it shows what Israelites, Jews did while they was in West Africa. So we're gonna start in page 86. One second. All right. All right, so it's right here. It's the orange highlight parts right in page 86. That's right here. Yeah.
The pagans and the Romans attacked the Jews. Indiscriminately, both the Jewish soldiers and the uninvolved peaceful population.
Right. So now the pagans and the Romans attack the Jews. So even those that were in Africa, of course, in other parts of Africa as well, the Romans were there also. So you know what I mean? While they fled from Judea, the pagans, meaning the Africans, and you know what I mean, basically anyone that serves some rock or some wood or just something that isn't the right God, and the Romans attacked us, man. meaning the Jews, and also it goes to the Jews that can fight and just the civilians. You know what I mean? People that ain't really a man of war, but they fled and they're just trying to live. So the Romans and the pagans, even in our migration in Africa, were just attacking a reader
without mercy. As a result of this merciless attack, many Jews fled to those parts of northwest Africa.
All right, so I started there. So now, because of all the attacks we received, first, many Jews went to northwest Africa, like, you know what I mean, Morocco, Mauritania, those regions. So, you know, because of, you know, all the attacks, you know what I mean, they thought it best to, you know, migrate first to northwest Africa. Reader.
Known as Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and Mauritania. Many other Jews fled to the areas where Rome did not have any jurisdiction. This was to the region of the south, the Sahara Desert, and the southern.
Okay, so now the reason why they chose northwest Africa is because the Roman Empire didn't rule that region. And if you think I'm lying, you can look up a Roman Empire map, and the Roman Empire, they didn't own northwest Africa. They owned just the Egyptian part. That's the only part of Africa that Rome did rule.
Right.
So now them thinking, well, if Rome is after us, how about we go to a region where Rome doesn't own, which makes sense. If someone's after you, you go to a place where they can't get you. It's normal. And that's what the Israelites did. That's what the Jews did. Read that.
Grazel says, such is the explanation of how the Sahara Desert first acquired Jewish tribes taught by a fighting tradition and possessed of physical characteristics blacks.
Okay, so now he's referencing another man, and he's saying that from what happened, that's how Africa got lots of us there in the Sahara and in northwest Africa, man. Stuck it. Back in 1 second. Yeah, so you mean that's how we got there, and it says that because we always had to fight, we became like a warlike race, man. People that you know were very good at fighting. Why? Because that's what we had to do to survive. You mean naturally that's what we had to do. All right. So that's on page 86. So we're gonna get to the next page, just to show you that. Like your baby, 1 second. Vincent Emperors. 1 second. North Africa Arabs. One second. Yeah, it's reached popping as well. So now I'm going to show you that even when they went to Northwest Africa, that wasn't enough to where we went to West Africa. So read this part here, this cruel policy.
This cruel policy caused many Jews to flee to the Mediterranean and western coast of Africa.
And so hang on now. So now, in your own time, when like you read on, we went to Northwest Africa, and even the Africans there, they hated us. And there was a policy that, you know what I mean, we couldn't serve our God. There was a policy that, you know what I mean, they wanted us gone. So we went to West Africa, some went to the Mediterranean, and some went to West Africa. You know what I mean? And that's what happened, man. You know what I mean? So we have history of how Jews went to West Africa. Many people like to say, you know, you ain't got no truth. You ain't, you know, got no facts. Well, this is a step-by-step of how, you know what I mean, Israelites got into West Africa. But guess what? Babylon to Timbuktu even gets better. Skip to page 88. Oh, yeah. Let me let's get a quick look. Let's get. No, so that's not what I'm looking for, sir. Page 90. Yeah, so this is page this is page 90. Let's read that. So now, when we was in West Africa, there's even history. That's this one right here. That's right. They're the black Jews.
Okay.
Yeah. So now this lets us know what we was doing in West Africa, and that even while we was there, we dominated everyone, man. Just like how we dominate now, man. We're in England, a land that isn't ours, and what, man? Everyone wants to be like us. You know what I mean? Everyone's looking up to us, and we don't even know it. And this same thing happened in West Africa, man. Read that for me.
The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes.
So now it says the black Jews had an advantage over the Africans, man. So while we're in West Africa, we got an advantage over them. While, you know what I mean? While, yeah. So now while we are in their land, we have an advantage, man. We're in their land, and guess what? We are dominating them. Why? Because we got history, a culture, and we dominated the Ashanti tribe, dominated the Igbo tribe, the Hausa tribe, the Fulani tribe. You mean we dominated all of them while we was in West Africa? Read on.
They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization.
So now it's saying with the records we had, we was more organized. It gave us a higher organization. Yeah, they were there, but because of our laws, our statutes, our commandments, it gave us a higher organization over the Africans that were there in West Africa.
That's right.
Because of the development of a higher social organization, because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the Orthodox population. In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes.
All right, that's in that. So now it's saying that because of our laws and what we had, we didn't get absorbed by them. I mean, there wasn't so much, and they was hiding us that they just absorbed us. If anything, we absorbed them, which of course we should have not done, man. You know how the Bible is about us mixing with another race, man. And that's what we did, man. You mean we started to absorb them, but they did not absorb us, man. Shalom, Hakim, Shalom,
All
right, man. So yeah, man. So even in West Africa, you mean we absorbed the Africans, the Africans did not absorb us, man. Meaning they didn't wipe us out and just mix us out. We absorbed them, meaning we was ruling them even in West Africa. Why? Because we had laws, statutes, commandments that it elevated us above them. Read on.
The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people.
So now we made use of every opportunity, man. In West Africa, we was running them, man. Every opportunity we had, we was, running them, man. Industries and doing all manner of things while we was in West Africa. Read on.
In the Jewish Ghanaian states were found kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue.
So now, you know what's funny? It didn't say that Ghanaians are Israelites in the Ghanaians dates. So meaning, of course, we lived in those lands, but in the states that we had, there was found among us what the kings, rulers, secretaries, generals, meaning we was an organized race of people in West Africa.
That's right.
Although we were there, we was running it, man. of course, you know how it goes. We were sinning. we was in West Africa doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Never ever think that. A lot of people think, we was right. No, we wasn't, man. As the book said, we absorbed them. We started to take African women and we started to, learn of African gods. And of course, when the Lord ain't with us, we know what happens next, man. Slavery.
That's right.
Happened, man. We were there, and then over time we started to learn about this god, learn about this African god, take their women, and then we fell and got rounded up and sent to this Western Hemisphere.
Right.
All right, no sweat. All right, now, so now it's like it passed me that book. So now at the end of this book, it gets very specific, man. Like, so it gives you the history of the Israelites in West Africa, what they did, etc. Then at the end of it, it just, lets you know that, we are the real Jews, man.
That's right.
So lucky, sir.
Yeah.
What page are you on in that book? Because I have it here.
Well, I'm on the last page, 133, 133 now.
Okay. Come.
So the part before Dr. Godby published his book, just that section there.
Okay. Can't. Dr. Godby published this book, The Lost Tribes and Myth. Yeah?
That's the one, yeah.
All right, can't. Oh, you want me to read it? Salakia, sir.
Oh, can't you?
Salakia, sorry.
I don't say, yeah. I'll let your man read it.
I can read it. I can read it. Salakia, sir. I can read it. No, sir. I can read it.
No. If anything, you can highlight it. You know what I mean? It's some good stuff there.
All right.
On the next page.
Salakia, I didn't even know.
That's what. Yeah, it's gonna read it now. So.
Wholesome Jewish customs. Here's another question. Before Dr. Godby published his books, The Lost Tribes and Myth, Rabbi Matthew organized.
All right. So now, in this book, it already went into Dr. Alan H. Godby's work. So now, in the other book, Babylon to Timbuktu, they're referencing it, saying that before the author even made his book, Abbai, he held a meeting, and we're going to find out what he said in the meeting that he had.
A Hebrew congregation in 1918 proclaimed that the black people of the United States and the West Indies are the original black Hebrews.
And there, man, in 1918, this rabbi, remember, so this is over 100 years ago, in a meeting said that, listen, the black people of the United States and the West Indies, these are the original Hebrews, man.
Right.
So don't let no one make you feel a way about saying you're an Israelite when over 100 years ago, this was already known, man.
Right.
Over 100 years ago, people had meetings. A white Jewish man, who is this guy here, I.S.U.P.K, he held a meeting and goes, you know what? The black people of the United States and the West Indies, those are those original black Hebrews, man.
Salakia, sir.
Cut.
If I may ask a question, how do we know the Judites are the black Americans, and Americans are not Manasseh or anywhere else? I mean, how do we kind of find out that the Judites are the actual Judites and the Benjamites are the Benjamites, or the so-called Jamaicans?
Okay, no sweat. Okay, in the Bible, of course, you know, we know this is a prophetic book, right here. And now in the Bible, it lets you know. So you know what I mean? So it will give you prophecies about every one of us, Benjamin, Judah, Levi. And when we read it, you know what I mean? It lets you know which tribe by their attributes where they would be. So now with the Benjamites, it lets you know our attribute is like a wolf. And you know what I mean? How it divides, you know what I mean, with like the rest of them. Meaning like, if you look at a West Indian family right now, what happens? We work so hard and like with us, we like to share. One thing with us Benjamites, we actually have like a mentality where, come on, man, help me out, man, share. You know what I mean? So that's one attribute. Then with the Udites, it said that their hand would be in the neck of their enemies, meaning what? They like to fight, man. If your hand is in the neck of your enemies, meaning you're going to fight, man. And that's a Judite attribute right there, man. And in America, Judites love to fight, man. You watch the online stuff, World Star, that's the hand in the neck of their enemies, meaning it's a tribe that like to fight. It's a tribe that, you know what I mean? If you offend them, they will fight you. Their hand is always in the neck of their enemies. So it gives you indicators and attributes of, you know what I mean, what they have. And when you align that with life, then, you know what I mean, that's how you know where they are, which tribes.
So basically, Slacky, sorry, go on.
And Slacky, other one, if I may, like Judah being in the neck of his enemies, meaning the top nation on the earth. Judah's right there in his neck.
No, it doesn't mean that. It's given, it's based now in the Bible and the account, it's giving every tribe their attributes, or you mean like how they would be in the last days. So it's describing the neck of your enemies, meaning he's a fighter. And okay, then not even just the fights. There's always like a fight on the streets. If you look at like Americans, they have a way with a fight, like even if it's like what some guys like Al-Kamex. He's a fighter. He only fights against oppression. Like it's the way how they are. They like to fight, man. Even you mean when they're oppressed, they're going to fight. If you offend them, they're going to fight. Meaning the hand in the neck of their enemies, meaning are people that fight. Whether it's oppression from the white man or whether it's individually amongst us, the hand is always in the neck of their enemies.
So like you said, so basically what you're saying is you know each tribe by their traits, by their actions, right?
That's right.
And then you line up the actions with the scriptures, right?
That's right. Well, okay.
Okay.
All right. With the attributes there from this, because he said what would befall them in the last days. So we read this, and guess what? It has the attributes. of how they will be in the last days, and then when you apply it, then you know what I mean that's how you know where they are, each tribe, if I'm making sense.
You can't. Yeah.
All right. So if anything, on the scripture breakdown class, I'll run it down. All right.
All right.
I'll set up for the scripture breakdown class. I'll go through every verse of every tribe. That'll be actually good to do. Actually, a 12 tribe breakdown on the scripture breakdown class.
Appreciate that. Throw the other one.
No sweat out. We get into that. All right. So we read in Babylon to Timbuktu that the blacks of America and the West Indies are the original Israelites. So we done with that. So now we're gonna get into that the Jews being black. Is it far-fetched? Is it ridiculous that Jews can be black? Because you know some people like to say that Jews being black, that's ridiculous, man. You lot are reaching that how Jews ain't black, and of course we're gonna show you today that Jews are black, man.
Right.
That's
You know what I mean? So we're gonna get this book here. Nature Knows No
Color
Lines by J.A. Rogers. So I'm gonna start on page 123.
$123.
Yeah, page 123.
God, read on. I don't know.
Stuck it in. If you start from the second part where it says Strabo 30 BCE.
Another one. Right. Strabo 30 BC says the people of Western Judea were of part of Egyptian ancestry.
All right. So now, why does he say this? Is it because they are really of an Egyptian background?
If I may, complexion-wise.
That's right, man. And now this historian, 30 BC, he went to Western Judea and said that damn, the Jews look like Egyptians by what the dark skin that we share, man.
Right.
So why is it that when you say that Jews are black, people laugh at you? When this man, 30 BC, man, 2,000 plus years ago, saw Jews and goes, damn, looks like they're of an Egyptian ancestry. And you know, again, you can look at the hieroglyphs. Egyptians are dark black, man. And Jews, this man went to Western Judea and Jews were black too, man.
Right.
Read on.
Select the other one, if I may, again as well. And Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian.
There you go.
And when Israel died and they went to bury Israel in Canaan, they said it was a great mourning for the Egyptians, because they thought the Israelites was Egyptians also.
That's right, man. So what we read in the history, in the Bible, loads of times Israelites were mistaken for Egyptians. And even this historian right here, he sees Jews and what says they're of Egyptian ancestry as well. Read on.
But he says, although the inhabitants are part mixed up, thus the most prevalent of the accredited reports in regard to the temple at Jerusalem represents the ancestors of the present Judeans, as they are called Egyptians.
There, man. So we're that dark that anyone on the outside, they were mistaken for what? Egyptians, man. And I just wanted to, before anyone wonders, when it says they are mixed up, meaning what? You know what I mean? Do all of us look dark black?
No.
You know what I mean? Does every Jew have to be dark skinned? No, man. Just saying what? We're mixed up. Some are light skinned, some, you know what I mean, dark brown, light brown. So this historian went to Judea and goes, yeah, man, that the majority look like of the Egyptian race, but they are mixed up. Some light skin, some dark skin. So now an historian right here saying that, damn, that you know what I mean, that look, to say that the Jews are black is not far-fetched.
Right.
Historians that went to Judea saw Jews and they knew that, damn, Jews are dark skin. Jews are a dark skin race, man. Read on.
So like the other one, is it possible to pull Acts at this point or not particularly?
Yeah, yeah. I believe
I don't remember.
21.
21. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember
where
where
like
it is.
they ask him, art thou that Egyptian? I'm probably believe it's around there.
So it's like, is it Acts? Which one?
I believe it's Acts 21 and about 37 or something like that.
Okay.
So like that, did he say 27?
37.
Yeah, about Sakia. Acts 21. I believe it's about 27, 26. I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I think he said 37. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, that one, may I speak to you?
That's right. That's the one.
Right.
Who said, canst thou speak Greek? Art thou that Egyptian, which before these days madest an uproar?
So now this is a disciple right here, man. The apostle or Paul, and they mistook him for what? An Egyptian, man.
Right.
Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian. So now this guy here who worked for Rome, he's like, are you that Egyptian? But then though, with Paul, he's gonna let him know who he is. But though, at face value, he mistook Paul for an Egyptian.
And led us out into the wilderness, 4,000 men that were murderers.
So now, why is it saying that? Because before he found, Yahushua, he hated us, man. Those that said, with like Yahushua, he rise, he resurrected, he was against them, and he killed many of us. So he's like, hang on, you're teaching the same man, and before this, you actually took their lives, man. The people that believed in him, you made sure that they died. It's like, what? Isn't it you? Meaning this guy that worked for Rome, he shot. Read on.
But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus.
And there you go, man. Stuff like this. Now that lets you know that Egyptians and Jews share that same dark skin, man. So this man's like, you're an Egyptian, and then Paul responds with, nah, I am a Jew, man. Like what we read in the history book, many historians mistook Israelites for what? Egyptians. And likewise in the Bible, it's the same thing, man. They mistook us for Egyptians till with Paul, he had to correct him like, no, look, man, I am a Jew. I am an Israelite, man. Read on.
Of Tarsus, a city in Sicilia, a citizen of no mean city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people.
So now he went to talk to everyone that was there, but the point being is his identity. He was mistaken for what? An Egyptian. And then he responded with, I'm a Jew, showing the what that Egyptians and Jews shared that same dark skin, man. But damn, if you see an Egyptian, it's like you are seeing a Jew, man. And when you see a Jew, you could mistake him for an Egyptian.
Right.
All right. So let's read on in Nate.
And so like the other one, like Moses in Pharaoh's house also.
There you go. You know what I mean? And so in the Bible, there's so many examples of Jews being black. And then in history, it's there, but they mistook him for another dark skin race. So it goes hand in hand. But let's read on in the book, Nature Knows No Color Lines.
God, in regard to the the temple at Jerusalem present the ancestors of the present Judeans, as they are called Egyptians. Tacitus of about 90 AD says many assert that the Jews are an Ethiopian race.
So now this is another historian. We've already read one. Now this is another one to Acticus, and he says many people believe that the Jews are an Ethiopian race. Why? Because we share that same skin as the Ethiopians, man. Of course, we're not the same bloodline as you know when you read the Bible, but what we share that same skin, man.
Right.
So now even in his time, it's like many people think that damn Jews are of some Ethiopian race. Why? Because we got the same skin like them, man. Read on.
So like the other one. Zephaniah 2:12.
Yeah, that's right, man. You know what I mean? Of course, the Ethiopians are gonna be destroyed. You know what I mean? We are not them. But on face value, you know what I mean? Of course, all right. One thing you want to understand, there's nothing new. The same way white people bunch us all up, whether you're from Africa or the West Indies, in their eyes, we are all the same. And ancient historians, they done the same thing too, man. They saw a Jew. He's an Egyptian. He's an Ethiopian. It's just the same thing. But the point being is that that the Israelites had dark skin. That's the point being made. Read on.
And God, for the Romans to have taken them for Ethiopians is clear to indicate of their color, since the Ethiopians were definitely black to the Romans.
And there you go, man. And there you go, man. So now, even the Romans, you mean they called us Ethiopians, and the historian goes, look, man, you mean for them to call the Jews that, they were obviously black, because the Romans did look at Ethiopians as black people, man. So the point being is 3 historians know that the Jews are black. Remember, this is just one book, and is quickly thrown through 3 historians. But to that point, if you can, skip to the next part about weights. Weight says, and interesting.
Weight says, an interesting gradation of all shades down to the black is exhibited by the Jews.
And there you go, man. So now this is another historian, Waits. You mean, and I'm gonna show you something, because I know what someone's thinking. Well, anyone, they could have written that. If you look in his book, you'll see like a number 28, etc. And then on the lower part of the book, it'll tell you where he got the information from. So you think, you know, he made it up off the top of his head. You can actually go back to the original source where we got it from. So now this is another historian called Waite, and he says that, you mean that, he says that basically there's different shades of the Jews, man, of black. So black, brown, dark brown, light brown, caramel, you mean, whatever the case may be. But the Jews are gradients of black, man. So this is a 4th historian going into the color of the Jews. Read on.
Slakia, sir. Slakia, sir. You know the different before Esau came in and like mixed in with our people or raped our women. We was all dark skinned, right?
No, that's not true. All right.
Okay.
All of that whole, you know, everyone was dark black, that is a myth. In every race, there's different shades, man. There's white people that got like a tan, and they mix with no one black. In every race, there's different variations. White people with blonde hair, black hair, ginger hair, you know what I mean? And likewise with us, man, You know what I mean? It didn't take the white man to have to rape people to make light skin, to make us light skin. That is a myth. You know, every race there's light skin, dark skin. So you know, mean all of that, you know, if you're light skin, it means that there's someone white in your family. That is a myth.
Throw order for that, sir.
No
Appreciate
sweat.
it.
No sweat. Read on.
So that's the other one. Like, is there any other way of explaining that a bit more? Because I'm thinking, obviously, you know, we got different with dark, but we got different shades with the dark. But obviously, now you got lighter one, like very light now. So I mean, would we have been like that back then? Obviously, you know.
Yeah, we would. In the Bible, what it say like, my heritage is as a speckled bird, and you can look it up. If you look at that bird, it's got all different shades on it, man. A speckled bird has dark colors, light colors, bright colors. So even in the Bible back then, you know what I mean, we was all different shades, different the colors, etc. It's in the book of Jeremiah. But,
I know that. I just mean to the you know, like to the variations of shades, you know, so far light, so far dark, so on and so on. That's what I mean. Like.
Oh, okay. And the answer is yes. You mean it's nothing new. Even on the Egyptian hieroglyphs. I mean, all of them wasn't dark. So all the depictions they have of us in the time of Exodus, all of them ain't even dark skin back then. So even in the time of Exodus, there was different shades of Israelites back then. So when people go, you know, it's just a black thing. You know what I mean? We got blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know what I mean? But also on the hieroglyphs, depictions of us, not all of us are dark. Some of them are, you know, black, literally, and some are brown, some are light. You know what I mean? So all that, you know, well, if you're light skinned, it means it's someone white. That is not accurate. Every time, you know what I mean? So there's always different shades of Israelites, even back then.
It's lucky for me. Yeah. And now it seemed like everybody's starting to realize the Jews ain't white.
That's right.
They started to realize they ain't white.
Regardless of what anyone says, the Jews ain't white. That's the point being, man. But let's read on.
Another one, especially dark were the Jews of Spain and Portugal. The Portuguese Jews were very dark, says Richard. Salakia says Richard. The Duchess of the Duchess of the Abrantes, wife of Napoleon's ambassador to the Portuguese, said that the Jews, the Negro, and the Portuguese could be seen in a single person.
There, man. So now the Jew and the Negro could be seen as the same. Why? Because the Jew and the Negro are the same, man.
That's
the
right.
point being, they're like, damn, Jews look like black people, man. So now, imagine this. People try to ridicule us on Jews being black when look at all this history, man. You're telling me they've never read this. You're telling me all these, you know, Bible historians haven't come across Jews being black. Because what is the common thing they like to say? Jews weren't black. They were Shemitic. And what does that mean? When does Shemitic mean that Jews can't be black?
Right.
It doesn't make sense. It's just an excuse to not acknowledge that the real Jews are black men. That's what it boils down to. Read on.
So dark were the Jews, especially of Portugal and southern Spain, that many whites thought all Jews were black or dark.
There, man. So now, whenever people saw all them, that it led white people to believe that, damn, seems like all Jews are dark or black, meaning the main look was a very dark black look. Now that doesn't mean all of them were, but that was, you know what I mean, like that was the main look that it led white people to believe that, damn, seems like all Jews must be black then, man.
Right.
Salakia, sir. Salakia, sir. So what are you saying? Portuguese are Jews?
No. There was some of us there, because what happened was it's a bit of an history lesson in itself.
Okay.
But what happened was around that time, Islam was big, and now they conquered, lots of Africa, and then the Moors, if you heard about them.
Yeah, can't.
The Moors, they conquered Spain, and now us being the Jews, we came along with them. Now we wasn't them, but we was also with them, and you know what I mean, we got rich in like that time as well. So they're referencing that time. So now the Portuguese, it was the Moors over there as well. So that is who they're on about right there, Africans basically.
Can't.
And then of course in about I can't remember the year, for 1492, that's when the white Spaniards, they basically kicked all of them out. You know what I mean, the Moors back into Africa, and they got their land and they killed them, beheaded lots of them, had their heads hanging in the roads and all that. So you know what I mean, that was when like the white man, he, you know what I mean, got it back. But for about damn near 800 years, it was Africans that had that land under the name the Moors. So it was the Africans and the Arabs as well, because a lot of people say that just because the word means black, Amor, in their eyes, it was anyone that had dark skin. Of course, some Arabs, they had dark skin as well. So it wasn't just the Africans, it was the Arabs and us as well. You mean like some would distinguish us as a Jew, or we would get rounded up in like a more. It was for a white person a generic term, basically.
Gone.
I got you.
Right.
Yeah. Let's read on.
This belief, says Babbitt, shows that an error most people are in, since he says the German Jews, as for example those of Prague, and are as white as most of their German countrymen.
All right. So now, who is he on about? He's talking about the so-called Jewish man. It's like, well, what about these Jews? Well, of course, they're not the real Jews.
Right.
But in his eyes, him bunching up, you know what I mean, them as well is like, well, look at these ones. These ones are white as the other Germans. But of course, they're not the real Jews, man. In the history class next week, I'm getting to that part on why they're not the real Jews. But today we're focusing on we are the real Jews, and that Jews being black is not far-fetched.
Right.
Read on.
And of God, many of the Jews who were banished from Portugal by John II.
Skip to page 130. 130. Now, I want to see who understands this. So now, so now with those Jews, they got expelled, and we're gonna see where they went. Read that for me.
God, banished from Portugal by John II, settled in the West Indies. Settled in the West Indies. John Bigelow, who visited Jamaica in 1850, saw the descendants of the Jews and says they were Negroid.
So now, what does that mean, man? Those Jews that got expelled out of that region, they went to Jamaica, and then he went there and goes, that what? They are Negroid. Why? Because he saw your ancestors there, man.
That's
He knew
right.
that your ancestors were those that got expelled from Sabine. He knew that we are the Jews. Remember, they're talking about those Jews, and to find them, he went to the West Indies.
Can't.
This historian, to find those same Jews, went to the West Indies, and he saw them in the 1800s and goes, yeah, man, they're black. He saw your great granddad, mine, Hakayans, you know what I mean? He saw all of ours and goes, damn well, those same Jews, they're black even till this day. So Jews being black isn't far-fetched. Jews being black, it's not a myth, man. To find those same Jews, he went to the West Indies. I can't make it any easier, man. I can't. There's no more I can do, man. You know what I mean? People think of Jews ain't black. Well, damn, you got 6 historians right there. They're all saying they're black, they're black, they're black, they're black, they're black. And then to find them, they went into the West Indies, man. To like have a look at them. I can't do no more, man. Like what? I mean, what does someone want me to do? The history has always been there. The problem is they don't know history.
It's been hidden, Salakia.
That's right, man. They don't know the Bible and they don't know history. You know, like what happens is how they come across is like they're so learned. And if there was, they would know that Jews have always been black, man. You know what I mean? Jews of ancient time were never white. So it's a myth of this so-called white Jew thing. But I'm getting another book to show that, you know, the Jews obviously were of a darker race. So this is a book by Rudolph R. Windsor, The Valley of Dry Bones. You know what I mean? As you know, he's referencing the book of Ezekiel about the Valley of Dry Bones. So the same man that writ From Babylon to Timbuktu, this is another one of his books also as well.
Slakia on. Yeah, if I may, can I just read a little bit more of this here?
Sure.
Come on. The Eastern Jews who settled in Austria, Poland, Russia were Negroid.
And there you go. So in these so-called dark ages, he lets you know that the people that brought that black strain there, they were Jews, man. So there you go. So you know what I mean? The history is there. It's not far-fetched.
Okay, so that's probably why they're so bent on keeping this hidden, you know, because it's gonna unravel a lot of problems.
There you go. And it will. All right, now here's the thing. If you can show that Jews have always been black and we are those Jews, then naturally, what's going to happen? People going to look at Jewish people and go, well, who are you?
Imposters.
And they don't want that, man. I mean, they don't want that. Right now. And it's sad. It's something that we can't understand. Being a Jew means you're meant to rule the earth.
That's right.
You're meant to have everything. And what's happened? A so-called Jewish man, he has everything when we are, man.
Right. Slaki Adon. If I get it, I don't know if I'm gonna get it right now, but Slaki Adon, if I may.
I can't yet, but
I was gonna say something along that line. See, once the paradigm, once everyone knows, the whole earth knows, the paradigm in power and rulership shifts back to where it's supposed to be, which is with us.
That's right. And that's right, because what they have, we are meant to have. In the Bible, the promises of what? Rulership over the earth, man. People that bow down to thee. That's the promises, man. And right now, they're living it. Meanwhile, it's for us, man. By being Jews, persecuted so much, I just want to serve my God. That's what we want to do. And they've hijacked that off us and got everything. And really, that belongs to us, man.
That soon come back. So like I said, that soon come back, sir.
That's right, man. So this is the Valley of Dry Bones.
So that for me as well. The Lord is revealing them for what they truly are, man, because they're doing a lot of abomination now in the land. They're not you can tell they're not the chosen people, man. They legalizing homosexuality, bestiality, you name it, man. You know what I mean? If the Lord was with them, they're doing that.
And,
That's not
they claim to be the children of God, and they're going against the scriptures.
The Lord is revealing Salakia, the Lord is revealing them to us, man, that we might see them for what they truly are, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Imposters.
That's right, man. And Osaka, you had something. Okay.
Salakia, no, I didn't, sir. I was just agreeing with
I was just saying one thing, like, you know what I mean? In the Bible, you mean, like, they don't match it at all, man. King David, he can't be no Jewish man. He was a warrior, and I don't see no Jewish warrior yet. I can't see that and go, he did that. Samson come from him. Never. But guess what? When you find out that it's us, Samson makes sense, man. Like, yeah, man, look like we are warriors now, and we were warriors back then.
Right.
Samson can't be no Jewish man. That blows my mind, like, really. Samson got the jawbone. A man that looked like him got the jawbone and beat everyone up. Like, I'm not convinced, man. But you know what I mean? When it's us, that makes sense. Why? Because we do it today, man. Mike Tyson done it in the 90s. You know what I mean? And you see, so it don't even make sense. But in this book,
the white man, that's like I said, the white man done a good job. He done a good job, man. He done a good job in covering up our history, you know. To the point where man will laugh at you if you call yourself a Jew. They'll laugh at you, you know. So like I said, that's it.
You know what I mean? White if it was heavy, and it's right, man. Definitely a job was done upon us. All right, young man, if you read me Valley of Dry Bones, page 54.
Valley of Dry Bones.
Yeah, just the top part there with the green highlights.
There is one question often asked of me: were the ancient Israelites a white people in biblical days? The answer to this question is an absolute no.
All right, so now this author goes, many people ask him, in the biblical days, were the Jews white? And he goes, the answer is no. So you know what I mean? So he's open with like, no. The Jews of ancient times were not white. Read on, young man.
Never white.
No. I have no doubt about my convictions and no reasons to lie. The Europeans had the reason to lie to develop white supremacy.
All right, so now he's telling straight that the white man, he has a reason to lie. Why? To make white people the supreme race, man.
Right.
So now, remember now, this man, he's a historian too. So he's saying, nah, man, the Jews of ancient times, they were not white.
That's right.
But he's going to get into all the reasons why. Reader.
They lied about the truth after they made it illegal for a black man to learn to read during slavery times. This event took place when the whites prevented the blacks from defending themselves.
All right. So now he's saying, how did this happen? Because we wasn't allowed to read, man. And as what General Muhammad says, it's not that you could not read. You couldn't read the Bible.
That's
because in slavery, we did many things. And to do those things, you had to know how to count and how to read. Their issue was the reading of the Bible. That's why so many people believe that Jews are white, Christ is white, and all the characters of the Bible, they're white. Why? Because in slavery, we didn't have the ability to read the Bible. If you read the Bible, your eyes got burnt out. That was the punishment. That was the
right there. So they understood the power of us reading the book, right? That's what it was.
That's right. That is it right there. And you know what? I'm gonna answer that even more. In like slavery, every revolt, well, I wouldn't say every, a lot of the revolts he had, it came from men that read the Bible. If they read the Bible, they would fight back. They would know who the white man is. And that's why they wouldn't allow you to read the Bible. I mean, when black people read it, It would cause uproars.
Empowerment,
Like,
yeah?
you can't read that, man.
Can't.
Nat Turner, he read the Bible. His slave revolt was Bible orientated. Of course, you know what I mean? It wasn't in the truth, but you know what I mean? From the reading, he knew that who the enemy was, and knew that what he was going through was in Exodus. He knew the same thing. And you know what I mean? And that's why they never allowed slaves to read the Bible.
Right.
You could read to, you know what I mean, pick cotton and cane, and you know what I mean, like do like anything else for them that involved some form of reading and writing. But the reading and writing is really for the Bible. If you read that, your eyes got burnt out.
Right.
Read that, young man.
They reinforce their lie by placing the white pictures throughout the Bible.
All right, so now we're saying that they reinforce the lie by painting white images. So now it's starting already saying that the Jews ain't white, but the reason why we believe it today is because us as black people, we wasn't allowed to read the Bible back then. And of course, it's ingrained in our mind. And then white images help to enforce that as well. Salakia, someone has something.
I forgot what I was gonna say, but I was looking up something just now as well. If I can read it. Where the heathens laid open the book of the law.
Oh, I got you. In the book of Maccabees.
Was it 1:48?
Seems about right. Yeah, that seems about it.
Yeah, chapter 1, verse 48. All right. That they should. It's not that.
No sweat. When you find it, let me know, right? We'll get into that as well. Read that, young man.
Yeah. Placing white pictures on religious calendars and producing lily white television programs and religious movies.
Okay, so now it's letting you know why people believe they're white. But now in the same book, he's going to give you the reasons why they are black. So it goes into the Bible and he gives his reasons how, you know what I mean, that the ancient Jews, that it's very logical that, you know what I mean, they would have been a dark skin race. One second.
Slap the other one. Shall I read this while you're looking for that?
Kanye, please.
Other one, can. First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathens had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
And there you go, man. So it's nothing new. Even in the time of the Maccabees, the Greeks, they painted their images as well, man. So even back then, the Greeks, they painted white depictions of Isaiah, white depictions of Ezekiel. It's nothing new, man. In the book of our law, they painted their images. It's not new. The Greeks done it to us back then, man. And they do it now in the Catholic Church, man. Same thing. And the Greeks done that to us. So it's nothing new, man.
Salakia, sir.
Can't.
And even when we went to camp on Saturday, and Officer Karafia he said they let Shamina Begum in this country, and they're sending our people back, and our people are the real, you know what I mean? I mean, how can we be a threat to them? I mean, but by our very existence. You feel me? I mean, they're kicking out our people from this country, letting Shamina Begum, who actually Jordan hired people to go and fight against them, and our people just want to live and work, and we're still a threat to them, a big threat to them. And is it because what's it because of this Bible, this us being the chosen people of the Most High, and they know that up there?
That's right, man.
That's what that is.
That's right. hands down, man. No ifs or buts, man. But I've found a part. Young man, read this part for me, and then I'm gonna show you an image out of this book. So it goes from reading the Bible, how a Jew would have looked like as well, and I'll also show you in this book as well. Read this part for me. At this time, that's right.
At this time, the famine was so great in the Middle East that Jacob and his children and grandchildren and their wives went to Africa, country of Egypt. Genesis 42:26, 28, and they dwelled there. For over 400 years.
So now we was in the Egyptian land for 400 years when you read in the book of Exodus. But let's see what this historian has to say while the Israelites were in Egypt for 400 years. Reader.
And they dwelled there for over 400 years. No, and no white Jews were enslaved in Africa under black at this time.
And then now on the depictions, there's no depiction of the black Africans enslaving whites. But on those depictions, you see Egyptians oppressing another race of black people, man.
That's right.
So now that's how you know this whole white Jewish thing is a myth. Because on the hieroglyphs, you don't see it.
Right.
You don't see Egyptians oppressing white people at all. But you see Egyptians oppressing another dark-skinned race, which are the Hebrews.
That's
and
right.
this author goes, well, that's common sense. You don't find it on the walls. And in many Bible history books, when you go into the time of Exodus, they show the depictions, and you don't see white people. You don't see the Egyptians oppressing the white people. You see the Egyptians oppressing a black people, brown, caramel, you know what I mean? All different shades. But you never see the Egyptians on the hieroglyphs oppressing a white people.
That's right.
Automatically, that would let you know that the Jews are black, man.
Right.
Sorry. Mad Ban Yum Yum, if you got anything, you can write it in as well. If you got anything to write. I can't read that.
Only African Hebrews.
And then that's in that. So saying that on the wall, Egyptians only oppressing Hebrews. Now, of course, he calls them Africans, but we know they're not. But the point being is, on the wall, Egyptians ain't oppressing white people. They're oppressing another dark-skinned race. So if you don't believe that the Jews are black, then the hieroglyphs speak for itself, man. All the depictions of the Israelites in that 400 years, it's the dark-skinned race oppressing another dark-skinned race. You don't find a dark-skinned race oppressing a white race on the hieroglyphs. Never. It's not there. You know what I mean? So that answers that one. But past that, I'm gonna show you that from his research, he went into how a Israelite would look like. So at the bottom of this, it's got every Bible verse. So it goes into that, you know, that it goes into the hairstyles found in the Bible. So it goes into Job 30, Lamentations 4 and 8, Songs of Solomon 1 and 5. And it goes into every verse. And then it shows you how a Jew would have looked like with the verses underneath it, man. Like, see, even by his research, that's how a Jew would have looked, just like a black man now, man. With his beard, of course, because it's the law. With his afro, because why? We don't, you know what I mean? It's not a custom for us to shave our hair like the Egyptians. Right. And of course, he put the yarmulke on him. I know. I don't know why he did that.
I was gonna.
Yeah. He put a yarmulke on him. I don't know why. But the point is that, you know what I mean? From his research, that's how an ancient Jew will look like, a black man today, man.
That's right.
So this whole, you know, black Jew myth thing. I got a question line. Okay, yes. the name Africa is named after a white man who was, he was a part of Rome. What happened was, if you heard of a man called her, Hannibal, he was an African, and he fought against Rome. But what they done was, in the first war he had against Rome, they won, and they banned him from making any ships. So he wanted revenge, but he wasn't allowed to make ships. So what he done was, he got his men and they walked over the they walked over the Alps. So they walked through like Sabine, etc., and they fought the Romans on their land and they won. And then on his way back, because the Romans had ships, they beat him back to his homeland. So he fought, and then with the place where he was from, which was called Carthage, they lost. So now, you know what I mean? So based on that now, so now that's how Africa got its name, because one of the it was one of the generals at the time, Leo Iprius Africanus. So basically, he was in that war, and when they won, that part of Africa got his name. So first, it started with that part of Africa. Then basically, as like time went on, all of Africa got that name. But really, that name at first was just for the all part of Africa. Then as years went on, the whole continent got the name Africa. If I answered that for you.
Salakia, sir.
Can't.
What was it before Africa? Ethiopia?
No. It was called Ham, which means hot. And if you don't believe it,
I believe you.
Okay, even the so-called Kemetic dynasties, hot. So even they knew that they came from Ham. So you know what I mean? But one thing you do want to know, over time, it had lots of names. So it was a land of Ham. The Egyptians called it Amare, which meant the wonderful land. So I mean, it wasn't just one name for so many years. Over time, Africa has had lots of names. History, Mizraim, Tamaray, you know what I mean? Ham. So it has been through lots of names, but the name that sticks the longest is Africa, because of the Roman general that fought against Hannibal, basically.
Don't understand.
I got you, no sweat. All right, we're up on time, but I gotta get into this book. It's one quick piece, right? This is another book, the Hebrewisms of West Africa, written by Joseph J. Williams. Let me grab this part. Page 292. That just show you that many historians, they went to West Africa and saw it flooded with us, man. Loads of Israelites. 292.
And this is where we fled from Jerusalem when we were surrounded, right? Okay, can't.
No, we fled. Met the other ones. We fled into North Africa first, and then we went down after more.
Oh, so
that's right. It's like young man, if you read this last one for me, you've done an excellent job today. 292 here and just up of that, right?
John Agilibai, master of His Majesty's revels in the Kingdom of Ireland.
So now this guy here, John Allenby, he's a white Irishman, and now he was commissioned to go into West Africa. So now he was given an assignment to go into West Africa, and we're gonna see what he found out on his journey throughout Western Africa.
In the Kingdom of Ireland, published in 1979, a volume on Africa wherein he speaks of the coast of did I say that? Guinea.
Yeah,
Guinea, as follows: many Jews also are scattered over this region.
So now in West Africa, through the Gono region, it's saying there's many Jews, man. So now when he went to West Africa, he said it, and he went in the 1600s, and he's saying, damn, in this West Africa, there's many Jews. This white Irishman in his time written his personal account that while in West Africa, he encountered many Jews. Read it.
Many Jews also are scattered over this region, some natives boasting themselves Abraham's seed.
And there, man. And in West Africa, we said we are Abraham's seed, man. They said that it's like, listen, I'm an Abraham seed. So now they said this. So Jews being in West Africa and us being them, it's not far fetched. It's not, man. They was, you know what I mean, saying, listen, I'm Abraham's seed, man.
Inhabited both sides of the river Nile. Others are Asian strangers who fled thither, either from the desolation of Jerusalem.
Oh, and there you go, man. He said that, and the other ones that were there, they were there fleeing the desolation of Jerusalem. I mean, those that were there at that time, they were there fleeing the desolation of Jerusalem, man. Yeah, man. You mean we don't make this up, man? We know about in here, man. It's not a myth. It's not just choose to be black because we want it. It's because it is while it is, man. It's because it is what it is.
Salakia, so sorry to interrupt you there. And you know what? And that's why they want it all covered up. I mean, it's their own people. Their own people have come out with it and researched it and found out who we really are. You know, and you know they just want to shut us up, but you know what? It's coming out anyway, whether they like it or not. It's coming out.
You can't stop this, man. You can't stop this, but that's the class, and we are over the time. So with that, guys, till Wednesday, right, Akim? Bye, shalom.
Shalom.